welcome once again to Empower Volusia Common Sense. That's right, we're coming to you hidden in an undisclosed location in an iron bunker in the highlands of West Volusia County, Florida. And we're guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 1 crazy cat. He's been absolutely psychotic lately, running all over the place. So anyway, you can hear us on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter, and you're also available on the web at jasondavispodcast.com, and you can see all the go to the archives there, and you can see all of our past podcasts and everything. So, anyways, so here we go again, folks. Yes, once again, another exciting episode in the continuing saga of As the Stomach Turns. Yes, once again, the Congressional Dog and Pony Show, or CIRCUS, with all the clowns, yes, they're in session, grilling Joseph Maguire, the Acting Director of Intelligence in the United States. In his opening statement, the Honorable Joseph McGuire made his case about how the process of disseminating information to the Intelligence Committee of the House of Representatives was processed. Yes, and this is in reference to the phone call, the world-infamous phone call. Yet, in the opening question lines, the chairman, Representative Adam Schiff, grilled him on the legal process of bringing forth to his committee the information they requested. Let me preface this next statement here, folks. Mr. McGuire followed the rules. That's right. These rules are set up. It's a process. It's the way things get done. Period. So he followed this process, as should have been done, for the protection of the whistleblower and their identity. We have a law here called the whistleblower law. You can make a comment about your business, your office, especially governmentally, and you cannot be fired or prosecuted or held liable or anything else. You have immunity, so to speak. And to make sure that that executive privilege was not violated by him in his office, by the way, he has no jurisdiction over executive privilege. Even though he is the chief of the security, he is, and I'm going to also let you know, well, we'll get into more of that in a minute, I'm sure. So yet, Chairman Schiff grilled Mr. McGuire repeatedly over whether or not he went to the White House. What? Yeah, he constantly grilled him. And, this process that he legally had to follow because we have executive privilege involved. We're talking about a conversation between a president and another world leader over a phone, which everybody has seen. And you know what everybody's saying now? Even the Democrats are saying that this is not enough. You can't do anything. So, due to the fact that this was a conversation President of the United States had with a foreign leader. So now he has to go and check for executive privilege. So Chairman Schiff several times, and I lost count over 6, and by the way, today is September 26th, 2018, and it's in the afternoon here that I'm recording this, and Adam Schiff is going over the same question constantly, and right now he's asking Mr. McGuire, do you think we should we should investigate? That is not Mr. McGuire's position in government. It's not. He is intelligence. And he keeps telling this guy, Adam Schiff, is being told by Mr. McGuire, look, I don't have any control over that. That's not what I do. I'm in the intelligence. I'm in charge of the intelligence branch of the executive services. But yet Mr. Schiff keeps going on.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
So basically, he's still at it right now, as a matter of fact, at 1,300 hours in the afternoon, which is 1 p.m. for most people. Mr. McGuire has repeatedly answered, I went to the Office of Legal Opinion for the White House counsel due to the fact that executive privilege was involved. And, time and time again, like I said, I lost count after 6, and I'm sure he's up to like 500 times. Time and time again, Mr. Schiff has asked the same question, trying to get Mr. McGuire to say that he went there because he works for the president. And that is not the answer. The answer is not that he works for the president. The answer is he is in the intelligence department, and he is not a lawyer, and he doesn't make legal opinion. So basically, folks, the circus is back in town, and the clowns are running the big top. Yes, sirree, Bob. The Democrats will not give this president a win, a pass, or a benefit of a doubt as to anything he does, whatever he does in the office. So let's ask Nancy Pelosi about that.
What's more serious is that he can't win. That is very serious to our country.
That's right. That's what Ms. Pelosi said on the 25th. He cannot win. We cannot give him a win. The president, as a matter of fact, of the Ukraine himself said there was no pressure put on him to clean up his own swamp like he has stated he was doing in the phone call with the president. And as a matter of fact, they will not even give Mr. Maguire a pass, even though he has quoted the law several times about the legal term urgent concern, which is what was written on this whistleblower. Folks, the term urgent concern means that a member of the intelligence community under the direction of the intelligence officers was involved in wrongdoing. That's in a nutshell. It's a big, long process, a big, long read, but I'm not going there. I gave you the abridged version. You can look it up. The President of the United States, though, is not a member of the intelligence community. He is the chief executive of the federal government. He has allowed by the Constitution, actually, encouraged by the Constitution to reach out to foreign governments, leaders to address issues of trade, immigration, and corruption. Yes, if laws are broken by citizens outside the United States, the president can go there and get it, just like Barack Obama did when he talked to the North Koreans about releasing that one student that stole a picture that eventually died because he was beat to death. But what happened there? So if the President of the United States is going to have his hands tied by Congress to do such things, then basically that takes the United States Constitution, rips it into a million pieces, and discards it with other forms of paper that go to the dump. Yet the Democrats on this committee, Intelligence Committee, which there seems to be a lack of intelligence up there, have failed to accept the opening statement of Mr. Maguire as fact, and they are constantly pushing him to break protocol. In other words, he had an opening statement where he defined and explained how the process went, and he said, and there you go. And that should have been the end of everything because he gave them what they asked for.
Honestly, as stupid as a stupid does.
Exactly, and this is where we're at today. One of the rules of the executive branch, which is accepted by Congress and Senate and every other individual, is that a conversation between the president and an individual in the executive branch is privileged conversation. Nobody, this rule, and I mean nobody, should break that privilege. This rule extends to every member of the executive branch. So, the question is, how could you retain the confidence of a sitting president if every time you had a conversation, you ran out to Congress or the Senate and were telling people about what you talked about? That's one of the rules that they're trying to get Mr. Maguire to break. Did you talk to the president? Yes, I talked to the president. Did you discuss this matter? I'm not going to talk about anything I talked to. You talked to the president about with you. Well, we'll just say that you did. I did not say that. I'm not confirming or denying. I'm just not going to tell you the conversations that the president and I have, how arrogant and ignorant of the Congress. These Democrats are running the show. Like I said, the clowns are running the big top. I think was said best, absolutely said best, by Mr. Nunes, that the Democrats are just looking for something to impeach the President of the United States with. That's all they're doing.
There you go again.
They've been looking for 3 years plus. It started with the Russian collusion, obstruction of justice. Then it went to a payoff to a porn star. Ooh. Then it went to a testimony by Mr. Comey failure. Then he's racist, a bigot, a homophobe, a womanizer, on and on ad nauseum. Let me just say this and direct this to all the Democrats in Congress. To be honest, we, the people of the United States, are about to throw up. Having been in county government and knowing Robert's Rules of Orders, I think the best solution at this time would be to stop the eternal waste of American taxpayer money. If it would be, It would be for a member of this intelligence committee. The best idea yet would be for a member of this intelligence company to make a motion for adjournment, have a second, have a discussion, then adjourn this colossal, ridiculous waste of time, money, television. You've got every damn TV program preempted just for this. And the funny part about the whole conversation is Mr. McGuire is sitting there and saying, I'm an intelligence. I don't make legal opinion. I've already given you the information. I mean, this, I tell you, I wish there was a way I could text, email, Twitter, or something to one of the Republican members up there to give him this. And to be quite honest, I, like the other 62% of the United States registered voters and American citizens, I am absolutely appalled and sick to death of the constant attack on our president. The constant onslaught of the lamestream media is relentless, and while everybody was asleep at the wheel in the mainstream media, China dropped their tariff on fuel by 25%. Oh, my goodness, 25%? That's big news. That should have been mainstream news. Nope, that just blew by. Yet everybody is so consumed with trying to impeach the president of the United States, especially on the Democratic side, of course, that lo and behold, it slipped through on into obscurity and nobody paid one iota of attention except, well, for me, because apparently I saw it. Because of this ridiculous whistleblower, who, by the way, has been determined to be a sympathizer for an opposing candidate to the President of the United States in 2020 elections, probably a Biden supplier, funder, helper. How about this? A spy in the state government, federal government, I mean. All the good works that this president did in the UN General Assembly have gone unnoticed. Yes, because of this ridiculous whistleblower. The trade deal with China, a trade deal with Japan, talking with leaders of the Middle East for peaceful resolutions to an 18-year-long war, which, by the way, he did not get us into. Talking with the leader of the Ukraine again and working out other deals with him to help him and his country, who, by the way, he said there was no pressure put on him. That was in the. So where are we at, folks? Why are we here now? So what has this witch hunt, this constant attack on the President of the United States by the Democrats accomplished? Surprisingly, absolutely nothing. Not really surprising. They just are up there to postulate and to talk and to point out. I think the last calculation of the Mueller investigation cost the United States taxpayers over $40 million. Yeah. Which this is suspiciously looking a lot like Russian collusion 2.2 now. And another question was brought up and nobody had the answer to, which I do believe needs to be addressed, more so than this witch hunt. Even Mr. McGuire had no idea what was going on in this issue. And here's the question. Who leaked this whistleblower report to the media? Who did? As a matter of fact, Mr. McGuire said, my staff and I, unlike some individuals in Congress, we can keep a secret. Yeah, I'll tell you, this is the exact same thing that happened during the Russian collusion investigation. And constantly with the special counsel investigations, where a lot of information was constantly leaked. It was all leaked. Loose lips sink ships, people. And you know what? I think the Democrats' ship is about to sink. Even Mr. Adam Schiff, who reached out, because he is actually the chairman of the Intel Committee, reached out to so-called Russian operatives, which turned out to be a joke from a local radio station, about trying to get pictures of Mr. Trump doing some sort of illicit, immoral actions. And now they're sitting up here with their high and mighty pious faces saying, how dare you reach out to another government and try to get dirt on somebody, which didn't happen anyways. He's trying to get illicit pictures of the president so he can post them all over the internet so he could find dirt on somebody. But if you said Donald Trump was trying to do that, that's illegal. He can't do that. But Adam Schiff can, who should know better because he is the chairman of the Intel Committee. Can you see the double standard here? We won't go down that road. And, you know what kind of pictures these were. But he immediately leaked the information about the radio call. So here we are again, folks. House of Representatives Intel Committee, which is showing a lack of intelligence, is once again grilling a member of the executive branch trying to dig up dirt on Donald J. Trump.
Let's get ready to rumble!
The President of the United States, the only president who has done the bidding of the citizens in this country since he's been in office, folks. Yeah, he has done more in his short 3 years in office than Barack Obama, George Bush 1, George Bush 2, Bill Clinton. He has done more for the people in this country than all those guys combined.
You can't handle the truth!
And that is the truth. No other president has accomplished more in less time, and President Donald J. Trump did this under a constant attack. Constantly since day one. They activated their insurance policy, and there you go. Those are some of the facts, folks. Like it or not, that's what he's done. So, now it's time to ask this question. How do we fix this problem? The answer is November 2020. It is time for the citizens of this country to look at that ballot and to look at the representatives that you have in government, the congressmen and the senators, the ones that are doing nothing except causing problems while they're in office. All they want to do is talk about impeach, and we're sick of it. Now, when I say causing problems, I mean those are let me just word this correctly. These are the ones that have such great visceral hatred towards the President of the United States. Folks, they need to go. They have set a precedent in Congress that any time there's a president that they don't like his policy, or they just don't like the way he dresses, or they don't like the fact that his actions on issues, or if he's a conservative, but primarily just because he's Donald J. Trump, they must impeach because they're not happy, because they lost their election. Folks, that is not what the Constitution says. When you drag good men to the Intel Committee and make it an open meeting, number one, you shouldn't do that. Intelligence is supposed to be behind closed doors. And you attempt to call the character into question of a 35-year naval admiral veteran and chief of the intelligence community just because you don't like the truth. Then, folks, we have a problem in the House of Representatives. And guess what? It's time to clean house. Let's just call this one a fall cleaning. That's right, because it's going to be November. Just like the previous two times a president has ever been impeached. Bet you didn't know that. There were two of them. Andrew Johnson, vice president to Abraham Lincoln, and Bill Clinton. And guess what? Both were Democrats. The majority of the House lost their seats in both of those after that, in the next elections. And in the last time, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Newt Gingrich, had to resign in disgrace. Nancy Pelosi, madam, you will have to resign because you are being proven to be an ineffective leader. So what have we learned today with this little discussion, my young Padawans? We have learned that the Democrat Party hates Donald Trump. We learned that they will do anything and everything within their power to impeach and remove this president from office just because he won the election. We've learned that that's not the way government is supposed to be run. Because you don't agree with him doesn't mean you don't do your job and you just go around chasing windmills thinking they're dragons to get rid of a duly elected president of the United States. Folks, maybe it's just time for our Congress and the Democrat Party, which may be failing quicker than we thought. Maybe it's just time for you guys to start following the law and start using, I don't know, how about maybe a little common sense.